Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sata Sri Vangeshla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
और जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
Jai.
जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपन श्याम कुंड राधा गोवर्धन की जय।
Jai.
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय।
Jai.
नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय।
Jai.
पुरुषोत्तम जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय।
Jai.
इस्कॉन फिलाडेल्फिया की जय।
Jai.
जय श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की जय।
Jai.
जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय।
Jai.
परम करुणा श्री गौर निताय की जय।
Jai.
देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
Jai.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to assembled devotees.
Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good morning,
Hare Krishna.
everyone. Hope everyone is having wonderful morning. And I'm so happy to have all of your association. I see Mother Sangita is also there. Hare Krishna, Mother Sangita. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. So nice to have you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Maybe you can share today something on my reading.
We'll see. Thank you, though.
Yeah. So we will continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, right, and text 17. Let me share the screen. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 17. Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharma Yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yad Ascharya Tamam Hare. Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharma Yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yadascharya Tamam Hare. Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharmayascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yadascharya Tamam Hare. Please recite.
Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharmo yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yad Ascharyatamam Hare.
Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharmo yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yad Ascharyatamam Hare.
Yugani Yugatmanam cha Dharmo yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yad Ascharyatamam Hare. Hare Krishna.
Yugani Yugamanam cha Dharmo yascha Yuge Yuge Avataranucharitam Yad Ascharyatamam Hare.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We will do the synonyms. Yugani, the different ages. Yugamanam, the duration of each age. Cha, as well as. Dharma, the particular occupation duty. Ya cha, and which. Yuge yuge, in each and every yuga, or particular age. Avatara, the incarnation. Anucharitam, and the activities of the incarnation. Yat, which. Ascharyatamam, the most wonderful activities. Hare, of the Supreme Lord. Translation. Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the Lord in different ages. What? Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, all the non-different from him, are emanations from the Supreme. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from the great and learned sage Sukadeva Goswami about the different activities of such incarnations, so that the incarnations of the Lord might be confirmed by his activities in the authoritative scriptures. Maharaj Parikshit was not to be carried away by the sentiments of the common man to accept an incarnation of the Lord very cheaply. Instead, he wished to accept the incarnation of the Lord by symptoms mentioned in the Vedic literatures and confirmed by an Acharya like Sukadeva Goswami. The Lord descends by his internal energy without any obligation to the laws of material nature, and thus his activities are also uncommon. The specific activities of the Lord are mentioned, and one should know that the activities of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical due to being on the absolute plane. Thus, to hear the activities of the Lord means to associate with the Lord directly, and association with the Lord directly means purification from material contamination. We have already discussed this point in the previous volume. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Please explain all the different ages in the duration of the creation and also the duration of such ages. Also tell me about the different activities of the different incarnations of the Lord in different ages. Hare Krishna. I would like to seek blessings from assembled Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas. Please bless me so I can share something on this from Prabhupada's purport as well. This is the more we read, it, it clarifies our understanding more and more. This is very amazing. Sounds like sometimes repeating, but Parikshit Maharaj asked a very profound question. He said, first of all, he asked him to describe Sukadeva Goswami. He asked Sukadeva Goswami to describe each age, and what are the different ages, and what are the duration of each age. Then in that duration, what are the incarnations of the Lord? It's like we can say it's like it's already fixed. It's already fixed. Even though Lord Krishna has unlimited incarnations, it says that we just like we cannot count the waves of the ocean, and the Lord's incarnations also like that. But doesn't mean that it's very cheap. anyone and everyone can claim, oh, okay, Lord is unlimited incarnation. So everything is incarnation. This cannot be considered as very cheap. So this question is, is very educational for sincere practitioners. That's why Prabhupada says that Parikshit Maharaj is like that kind of cheap person that he'll accept anything and everything. And we all know that, so bewildering, false, one way we see the false claim of incarnations. And another way also sometimes, coming from different bona fide sampradayas also, they present their worshipable God as incarnation, their gurus as incarnation. That also confusing, very much. So, but Parikshit Maharaj sets an example, wonderful example that, okay, what does the Shastra says? What do the Shastra says? Okay, you said, what did the Shastra say? What is the Shastra reference? Guru Sadhu and Shastra, taking Guru Sadhu and Shastra as a reference, we have to accept. We cannot just accept as a sentimental incarnation. Now, one point he mentioned here, used the word, Parikshit Maharaj, is Yad Ascharyatamam Hare. Now, I try to pay attention to this. Yad Ascharyatamam Hare. It means the Lord's activities is Ascharyatamam. Ascharyatamam means it's not an ordinary activity. We'll look into even just fish incarnation, which is not very prominent. But even if you look into the fish incarnation, Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam that there are so many large fish in the ocean, Timangala fish. I don't know if they must be still there somewhere, but I'm hearing they're very huge, and where they are, I don't know. Timangala fish. But when you look at Matsya incarnation, if I remember correctly, it's 80,000 miles, something like that. If anyone remembers the figure, that huge. That's why it's like Ascharya. Everything is of the Lord is Ascharyatamam. If you look at the Vamanadev, he appeared as a dwarf, but he expanded himself like measuring whole universe. Everything is Ascharyatamam. Recently, we celebrated Ram Navami. Every activity, he came as a human being, but at the same time, the Lord manifests and acts in his superhuman activity. Just to reciprocate with devotees takes like human form, Manusin Tanam. But his activities are all wonderful. If my activity and Lord's activity is same, because both are human beings, then nothing to discuss about the Lord. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami Parikshit Maharaj is saying, all these wonderful activities, from his activities we can know, who that person is. Lord Ramchandra, just one example, he came in the forest. Ravana's 14,000 associates, we can say, in the forest, and after Surpanaka was attacked, then all these 14,000 men of Ravana came. All the 14,000 men, Rakshasas, were killed by Ram and Lakshman. Just one incident. These are not possible. And when we look into Parsuram's activity, it says that the way he was playing his weapon, the speed of the weapon is unimaginable. It could kill thousands and thousands of Kshatriyas, just like that. So Lord Krishna's activities are not easy. It's always uncommon. Many times, because if his uncommon behavior, uncommon activity, people doubt it. Oh, these are all mythology. People doubt it on the scriptures. It's all mythology. So, but because we don't know about the Lord. General people are, what is God means we don't know. That's why we get misled by a false incarnation. Then we accept a cheap God, just like that. Yeah, God is from him, everything emanates. Everything comes, means whole universe comes from him. The gigantic in oceans comes from him. These definitions are not very clear to public. That's why people are very much confused with who God is. Does God exist? All these things are very much confused. That's why Parikshit Maharaj made it very clear that he wished to accept the incarnation of the Lord by symptoms mentioned in the Vedic literatures. At the same time, confirmed by the Acharyas like Sukadeva Goswami. Both Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra all are important. They cannot be contradicting each other. Because the Lord's activities are wonderful, this will definitely attract the hearts of so many people of this age. It'll bring change. As there's a conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasdev, he said that literature describes the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation full of transcendental words and directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives. And we see impious life, and everywhere there's a program happening, and when pious people are there, and they very easily they get attracted by hearing the activities of the Lord, by hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam, that's Narad Muni's confirmation that will bring the change. When we glorify the Supreme Lord and his activities, wonderful activities. Then there's I remember in my early days of bhakti, I was very much disturbed. Early days of bhakti means before coming to bhakti, I was very much disturbed. How this world, there is no piety, people are all materialistic, there is no opportunity for sadhu sangha. It was a difficult time. Everywhere you have some taste. You're looking for something, but you don't get it. Everyone is running behind money. And for the sake of money, they are willing to do anything. There is no good relationship among each other. So we felt, it's so hard now to live in this world. And now also many times when devotees they preach, when you don't get result, we get disturbed. Oh, I put so much of efforts. Hardly anyone came to take a book. Hardly anyone attended. We do so many hours of kirtan, and every day it inspires us. When many devotees join, many people join, it inspires the host. Okay, glad so many people came and so many people attending the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's inspiring each other. But many times it becomes we used to feel, it's so hard. Prabhupada also went through the same situation. We all remember, right? And how much struggle he went through in India just to make one devotee. I think is Prabhakar, the first disciple is Prabhakar, if I remember. He also mentions how Prabhupada worked very hard when he established the League of Devotees. Well, finally managed to come to America, and that also was not an easy journey. He went through so much test for him, and hopeless, what will happen. But due course of time, the change happened. Sincere people started coming one by one, started accepting, helping Srila Prabhupada in this. So that way, there's a wonderful good news. Good news is, there's a song called Bodo Sukher Khabar Gai. It's a Bengali song. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Bodo Sukher Khabar Gai. And that he says, Ek baar dekh le chak se jaye. Ek baar dekh le chak se jaye means, unfortunately, people have not tasted what is devotional service, what is Srimad Bhagavatam, what are the activities of the Lord, have no taste. They for millions and millions of years they're away from Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why this Bhagavatam, this song directs एक बार देख ले चख से जाए, means you try to taste it, try it once. That's our Sunday Fish program is meant for, to bring people and encourage them, give them a taste for it. Then in another verse he says that Aranaiko Kalirvaya means Kali is full of fearful. At the beginning of the age of Kali, there's so much of fear. The great sages, they were afraid, oh my God, now the Kali is going to come. What's going to happen? They all were trying to take shelter of the Lord. And similar thing when Pandavas also, when they saw Kali is going to happen, so Kali is going to start, Pandavas one by one immediately retired from the responsibility and went to forest. So, but here Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Aranaika Kalir Bhaya. Even though so many earthquakes, so many floods, so many constant disturbances in the society, murder, everything is happening. Wars, the non-stop wars for years, and corona, everything is happening. And collectively and individually, everyone is suffering in their life. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes it's a big hope for me also. I'm thinking, Aranaiku Kalirvaya means, there's no fear of anything. That we don't have to be afraid of anything. Because there's a holy name, and there's a Srimad Bhagavatam, the volume, so many books are available, so many classes on Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the YouTube, also happening, online, Zoom class, everything is happening. I was thinking many times in YouTube, many of you must be accessing YouTube. So many videos are coming. But my analysis is that I think the highest number of videos would be coming about Krishna consciousness only. Because we have so many thousands, almost 1,000 centers, hundreds of thousands of devotees. Always they put Kirtan, the Srimad Bhagavatam as we speak, that is also being recorded. In the world, they may be working in different companies, to propagate their mission. But as Hare Krishna, I think we are also one of the topmost users of this media, social media. Utility, the principle. That's I didn't do this count, but that's my observation, that here, throughout the YouTube channel, if it's just Hare Krishna, we'll see tons and thousands of videos will come. So that's a very beautiful thing. Because those days people are very much ignorant, and they didn't had all this thing. I received my Bhagavad Gita at the age of maybe 27, 28, like that. Hardly we used to have it. So one way we see that Kali is very prominent, of course. On the other way, the Lord's holy name and devotional service is also befitting, equally powerful. So there is no worry about being discouraged. And Hare Krishna is very much famous all over. When the leaders practice bhakti, when the leaders promote, it becomes very easily accessible, accepted by the citizens. Now, recent Ram Mandir in India, whatever the reason it is, there's a struggle for 500 years of establishing the Ram Mandir. Even the ISKCON may not be directly associated with it. But at least through the leadership, the whole world heard the name of Ram again. They may not be hearing whole Mahamantra, but at least Ram name is now famous. Why I mentioned this? When conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur glorifies even the one Ram's name from Haram. When Muslims call haram, still they'll be benefited by the name Ram from there. So even though whole world is not devotees, but at least they are calling the Ram's name. So we can see this is the Lord's glories are spreading. I'm sure many of you are also observing that. You can share your thoughts on this. Holy name, Bhagavatam, the Lord's, the temples is spreading everywhere. And we all can take opportunity and spread as much as possible. There's no, and on the other hand, we see our Prabhupada's programs also very amazing programs. Vishnu Gita Prabhu has shared many times also how the ISKCON programs has evolved. What songs we should be singing in the morning, what songs we should be singing in the Sunday feast, what songs we should be reciting at home for our practice. In ISKCON evolved, by churning the process under the direction of Srila Prabhupada. Many times, if you see that people may not have tasted for our programs, that's why they don't come. But once they come, they like it, they appreciate it. They appreciate it very much. Anyone has such experience? Did you bring any friends? Did they have any such reactions? I was amazed when I attended the first time program. I said, wow, this is so wonderful. And now also people are commenting, yeah, we like the program very much, even though they don't know anything about it. Anyone wants to share on that? Something? Sorry, some message is there. Yeah. Anyone like to share something on first time experience of coming to ISKCON?
Yeah, most people
Yeah.
that go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, I was just saying, the first time I went, I was just smelling. The temple was a small center, was upstairs. Then I climb and smelling the smell of agarbatti, of incense. It's really like attract my mind, and just seeing the devotees and eating prasadam. And I can't help it. I just waiting when I went home. I wait when next Sunday is coming, so that I can go to the temple again and again. So that's one of my nice experience. I didn't want to go anywhere on Sunday. I just want to go to the temple every Sunday.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? Somebody else was sharing? Someone else was sharing?
Yeah, Prabhu, I was just going to say that most people that we bring to the temple will usually say they just feel the energy when they come into the temple room. Just, a feeling that doesn't come when we go to other places. And for us also personally, it was, when we came to ISKCON, we started understanding what we were supposed to understand. We were never, told those things. We were just doing things, but we didn't understand what we were doing. So that's what I wanted to share.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, each individual experience is very meaningful. It happened to us. Same transformation will come for others also. It can be a very gradual progression. But Prabhupada put a very beautiful program, actually. Sometimes we get distressed. Not everyone wants to read the books. Okay, it might take some time. But brings a transformation very gradually. Someone likes Kirtan, someone likes Japa, someone likes Aarti, someone likes Prasad, someone likes service, someone likes socialization. It's like a complete program. It's a fulfilling, brings contentment to our life. That make me to continue for all these years. So slowly one develops taste for hearing. Because anartha, until that's what I understand. Probably if anartha nibriti, it takes time. One may not have a taste for reading and hearing very much. And why I'm bringing this point of reading and hearing, because in the purport Prabhupada says, thus to hear the activities of the Lord means to associate with the Lord directly. When we read means we are associating with the Lord. It means we are seeing Him also. And all of us, when discussing about Krishna, that means we are seeing Krishna face to face. Like they're not different. Only thing is, okay, we may not be using our eyes, but we realize this by seeing, we are talking about Krishna, we see Krishna. And association with the Lord directly means purification from the material contamination. And we can understand, the change is happening in our life. The lust, greed, anger, all these things which is happening in our life, the progress is because of our constant association. That's a second cant, the fourth verse of this chapter says, persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously, particularly this mention. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short time. My analysis is that, we see so many devotees are coming. Not everyone is very seriously because they like it. They're coming, and within that, the certain percentage of the devotees, they are very serious on this. Okay, they are very serious. What is being spoken, what is being written, everything is very serious. So they take very seriously. So it says that for them, the manifestation of the Lord will be a matter of time very soon in their hearts. 2.8.4. That's what we already discussed. Because the sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Super Soul, Supreme Lord, enters in the heart of a self-realized devotees, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. The changes happen. It's happening in our life. I just want to give one example. I know Vishnugata Prabhu can tell. It's always amazing to see such a beautiful paintings of our ISKCON movement. Everywhere it is famous. Whether they like anything or not, they like ISKCON paintings very much. And I learned that all these paintings are done in early time when Prabhupada's time, he instructed his disciples to do. Now, when they instructed his disciples to do, they just heard it. I don't remember if Prabhupada brought any Krishna picture with him, but he just spoke about Krishna, and devotees heard through their ears, and they could see Krishna in their heart, and they painted. And by seeing those paints now, I feel like I'm seeing Krishna directly. So unless they could hear, unless they can see Krishna by hearing, how could they present as a painting? Makes sense, So the hearing, the reading and hearing, by reading and hearing, one can see the personality. The Lord is seen. Rukmini was also, of course, is none other than the internal potency of the Lord, Ladini, expansion of the Ladini potency. But still, as a Leela, she heard from Nard Muni about the appearance of the Lord, his activities of the Lord, and she could see. Because she could see Krishna, she gave her heart to Krishna immediately. And we all of us see Krishna. If we have seen, someone asks, have you seen Krishna? We see Krishna every day by associating and by Srimad Bhagavatam and conversing each other, reading from books. We see Krishna. Anyone has an experience to, when you read Bhagavatam, do you feel connected with Krishna? Do you feel like you're really literally with Krishna, talking, conversing, seeing that? You can share for others' benefit. You don't have to hide. I feel when I read Srimad Bhagavatam, I feel very much connected with Krishna. It's very deep. I may not understand everything, but I feel very much inspired to see, very attractive. Anyone wants to share more on this? Vishnu Prabhu, please. Or Vindhyavali Mataji, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. We are reading in happy hour, we are reading Krishna book. Parikshit Prabhu explains so good. And the Krishna book, I enjoy a lot, whatever his Krishna's pastimes. And but the way we just discussed in the happy hour, I really feel that Krishna is in present. So that book was very, very inspires me too. His pastimes and how he fought with other demons and other things, those things. That was very, very amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing.
very much, Prabhu.
So yeah, that's what my point is. Prabhupada has given the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we hear regularly, we read, and we will be with Krishna. It doesn't look like it's personally because we don't have that vision to see, but he is in our heart and he's reciprocating with us. To hear the activities of the Lord means to associate with the Lord directly. And association with the Lord directly means purification from the material contamination. And we can measure how much purification. And I see that as, many devotees in their life has changed. Whole life they spend in accumulating wealth and working hard. There's no time for programs, but little bit connection they were there. But slowly they understand, it's time for me to invest in more hearing and chanting. At the beginning, it may be hard to spend the quality time, but we are seeing devotees, donating, devotees looking for a, devotee association. That's my realization, but that's my understanding that not everyone, many would be interested to hear much at this time, but as time progresses, as purification happens, one develops very much attachment, attraction to hear and chant gradually more and more. I see that in the devotees of Srila Prabhupada, their taste, very much inspiration I derive by seeing their activities, in how they're preparing their life, in so much of taste for hearing, chanting. So I hope that one day I'll develop more towards that. That's the hope I have it. So that's what I want to share. Please, corrections, comments, questions, Vishnu Prabhu, you want to say about. I had a particular clarification. Am I right about the painting, about Krishna's pastimes, which devotees did?
What's the question?
Did Prabhupada bring any Krishna picture with him when he came?
Oh, he may have brought in some picture, but when the artist did paintings, my understanding is that usually they would make sometimes a sketch, and then they would review it with Srila Prabhupada, and then he would go over that and make sure it was bona fide, depiction of the pastime or the situation. So, I mean, that was during Prabhupada's manifest presence. Afterwards, there were paintings made afterwards also. So I'm not sure that they were all, depicted accurately. I know there's a picture, and if you go to the Brooklyn Temple, there's a picture on the wall it's not made by an ISKCON artist though. It's Lord Krishna with Arjuna, and Arjuna is off the chariot, and Lord Krishna standing is instructing Arjuna off the chariot, and Arjuna is kneeling. It might be like a Brijbasi print or something. So I wondered, you have that in your mind. So there's the chariot in the background, and in the foreground is Lord Krishna standing and instructing Arjuna, and Arjuna is kneeling there, hearing Krishna. So is there anything, is that correct?
I have seen that picture in ISKCON also many times, no?
It's in different places. But my understanding is if most of the ones that are actually painted by ISKCON artists, Arjuna was on the chariot when he was receiving instruction from Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
So yeah, there might be. But anyway, that's so those specifics are there. For example, one time, and it wasn't that Srila Prabhupada always gave them, oh, do this picture. Sometimes he said that, but not always. So one time in New York, Brooklyn, one of the painters came and they showed different pictures that they had painted to Srila Prabhupada. And one was Lord Vishnu. And Srila Prabhupada said, well, Lord Vishnu doesn't look down his nose at people. That's how the way it was presented, was that Lord Vishnu looked like he was looking down his nose. And another one was Lord Brahma above the, sitting on a lotus flower, sprouted from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And it was a bird's eye view. You follow?
Yeah.
And so he didn't like that because, or he mentioned that it wasn't accurate because who's going to be the bird's eye? How are you going to have a bird's eye of Lord Brahma like that? And another picture was Lord Krishna kind of sad sitting on a trunk or tree, something, and Srila Prabhupada asked, so what's the idea? So the painter said, oh, this is Lord Krishna lamenting when Srimati Radharani leaves the rasa dance. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, that's not how Krishna is lamenting. No. You know what he said? Oh, but this can go for another idea. This can be, you can use this for when Krishna had a headache. That you can use it for that. So those different things there are there. That's about the paintings. So there was another thing, because this is about the 4 ages, the different ages and the different avatars. So there's a book called God and Science by Sadaputta. I just wanted to read a couple of things because it's quite interesting. You were talking about how people think that the Vedas are mythology and they don't have any. So part of that is they don't have any appreciation that can be things that are ascharya, very wonderful. They think everything is very mundane. But there's also, this is from the chapter called Cross-Cultural Traces of Vedic Civilization. So I'll just read a couple paragraphs. Yeah. The ancient Greek writer Aratus tells the following story about the constellation Virgo. Virgo, he says, may have belonged to the star race. The forefathers of the ancient stars, in primeval times, in the Golden Age, she lived among mankind as justice personified and would exhort people to adhere to truth. At this time, people lived peacefully without hypocrisy or quarrel. Later, in the age of silver, she hid herself in the mountains, but occasionally she came down to berate people for their evil ways. Finally, the age of bronze came. People invented the sword, and they tasted the meat of cows, the first who did it. At that point, Virgo flew away from this to the sphere, that is, she departed to the celestial realms. Very interesting, huh? So some Greek background is similar. And then here's another one. Another example of similarities between cultures can be found among the natives of North America. The Sioux Indians say that their ancestors were visited by a celestial woman who gave them their system of religion. She pointed out that there are 4 ages and that there is a sacred buffalo that loses 1 leg during each age. At the present, we are in the last age, the age of degradation, and the buffalo has only 1 leg. Have you heard anything similar to that before?
Yeah.
Anyway, some ideas.
Yeah, but interesting. So they're also referring Srimad Bhagavatam then. But the way here the American Indians are presented as like the tribes, isn't it? I don't know the history the way this is presented here. It's like there are tribes and they're not much educated, but looks like from your reading, looks like they knew all the signs of God.
They had some tradition that recognized the changing of the ages. So that's all. So it's interesting that it's very similar to what the Vedas say.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing this. Mother Muktidatri, you want to say something, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ah.
I just wondering, like, why not like all the Krishna's deity we see, like we have our Radha Sharad Bihari, and we have Radha Bindavan Chandra. All the temple we have like different like different look of Krishna. I was wondering, like, why not every Krishna is the same? Then it will be better, I think, And also, like, I was thinking like that one day. I see in the online they have like Krishna's picture from like 5,000 years back, and they're saying, I don't know it's real or not, truth or not, but they're saying like this is the real picture of Krishna, like some 2 or 3 picture. That was like they're saying like this is the real Krishna. They just previously people used to draw by hand, right? So that was like Krishna was in front and they like draw Krishna. That was nice, but I was like really wishing like it is like all the Krishna are like same. It will be better. I don't know.
All the
How are
Krishnas are same. We look at different. We see differently. I'll let Vishnugata Prabhu speak on this.
Well, when Lord Krishna was on the planet, he didn't always look the same. When he was a baby, he looked like a baby. When he was, 3 or 4, he looked like Radha Damodar. So according to the age and the different, he had different appearances. He had different appearances even during, so sometimes the deity also is for like example Nataraj. Krishna's also name is Nataraj. He can be dancing. Like there's the Krishna Kaliya deity in Fiji. So he's different because he's dancing on the heads of Kaliya. So they're different aspects of Krishna that can be portrayed in the deity form. Just as Lord Jagannath is different manifestation, a different. That's Lord Jagannath is also Krishna, but he's different. So that's one thing. Oh, and another thing is that when the Yadus did, killed, most of the Yadus were destroyed after Lord Krishna, about the time when Lord Krishna left the planet by fratricidal war. A few Yadus were left. One was the name Vajra. You remember Vajra?
Yeah.
He was Krishna's great-grandson, the son of Aniruddha, who was Pradyumna's son. So anyway, he commissioned various deities to be carved and installed in Vrindavan. And he consulted with, who he consulted with? Well, if I remember correctly, it was Uttara. Parikshit Maharaj's mom, because she had seen Krishna. She was one of the few people that's been. So she commissioned those. So he commissioned those deities to be exactly like, according to her directions, what Lord Krishna looked like. So I don't know about this picture that might be there on the internet, but the deities in Vrindavan were fashioned after Lord Krishna, Mother Uttara's recollection of what Krishna looked like. And it's not just they're all the same, but like, for example, Madan Mohan is specifically, the feet are particularly, representative. That's really very well accurately made. And it's like that. So different aspects of Krishna are reflected in all in the different deities of main deities, old deities of Vrindavan, as commissioned by Vajra and instructed by Uttara. Does that make sense?
So basically, you're saying that we have authentic statement from Parampara that how Krishna looks like. So that's what you're saying. From in the deities, we can find how Krishna looks like from the lotus feet of Lord Madan Mohan and the body of Govind Dev and the face of Gopinath. That's
like that.
So we can compare. Yeah, Mother Muktidati, if it is coming from the Parampara, they retained it. That's fine. We have a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's painting also spreading everywhere, saying that it has come from King Prataparudra's palace or something. So, but my understanding is that, we say Krishna differently. Ye yathamam prapadante tam tatev bhajamyam. Even though we make the Krishna deity same, but our relationship with Krishna is based on reciprocation with Krishna. Appearance is based on our desire, devotee's desire also. That also another aspect we have to consider. But because we are, still material conscious, we see one Krishna is different than another Krishna. One ISKCON Prabhupada's temple is different than another ISKCON temple, right? Oh, this temple is better than that, like that. But as we progress, we can see the same Krishna without difference. And in fact, there's one point I'll say. Even sometimes people say, oh, Vrindavan is better than Mayapur, Mayapur is better than Vrindavan. Nautam Das Thakur writes there's a song, Gouda Brajabane Bhedana Dekhivo Hoiva Brajavasi. It's a very heavy statement, The one who do not discriminate between Vrindavan and Mayapur, he is eligible to reside in he can be resident of Brajavasi, Braja, like that. So for us also to come out of it, grow, mature, go above the bodily conception, my temple, your temple, this temple, that temple, and serve Sri Krishna as one without different and serve submissively. So that I'm trying anyway. So that will help us. So physically observation, yes, right, this Krishna is better than the other Krishna. No, but actually in truth, all the Krishnas are same. My 2 cents to that. Thank you, Vishnu. So it's 8:50 already. So we'll stop it here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarivescha. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare. How can we stop this?
I'll do it, Prabhu.
Okay, got it.